You know what I find so intriguing about us human beings is that when we are told to do something, we so wholeheartedly believe in that. And our world is conditioned for us to believe that we have no control. And that non-control over our lives brings suffering. And since we believe that so congruently, we believe that our pain and our trauma is the reason why we are the way that we are and why we can't change who we are. But sometimes our pain and our trauma can be used as a form of manipulation for people to have power over you. Hence how our world is. But also, sometimes we can use our own pain and our own trauma to get one over on people, or to use it as an excuse to justify our behavior. And I know I might get a lot of heat for this video, but I just want to be honest, because real love comes with honesty. And that is, on today's video, I want to share with you how your trauma is not an excuse for you to justify your behavior or for people to actually understand you, but to how to be able to alchemize what is hurting you and what is no longer serving you, and allow it to bring a different perspective that's going to help change you into a person you're proud to be, rather than a person you think that is not meant to be here. What is Gooch beautiful beings? Welcome back, Awakened Ones, on another episode on Embracing Ascension series with your homegirl, Brittany Fontanez. If you're new to this channel, so glad to have you here. Welcome, boo boo. If you've been on this journey with me so far, gang, only love, you know who you is. On this channel, I am an energetic activator, here to assist you to awaken things you have yet to see with your emotional awareness to go upon your spiritual evolution. Now I'm in my SpongeBob gear. I just got the sweater, so it's so exhilarating. Yes, I am a nerd for SpongeBob, which makes sense because he's pretty fruity, and I'm pretty fruity myself, so you know, we just resonate, boo boo. But anywho, let's talk about what I might get a lot of heat for. And that is, your trauma is not an excuse. And I want to just say, first of all, that I'm not deflecting. I'm not saying that what you've been through and how you're feeling is not valid. It's completely valid. I'm letting you know that I hear you, I see you, I understand you. There are some people that I have and in my life and that I know that we've been through similar things, and there are some people that I know that I've never experienced what they went through, but I can see their emotions, I can see their pain, I can see their hurt, and it's very valid. Anything that you went through that was traumatic to you, something big, something small, something deep, something heavy, it's so valid. And I want you to understand that you have every right to feel it, you have every right to express it, you have every right for people to understand you. But on today's video, what I want to get in depth in is that a lot of us have a tendency to be victims to what has happened to us. A lot of us have a tendency to be a victim to this world, to the point that we blame the world, or we think the world is against us. And what if I told you that that is just a blockage and a belief that you hold so strongly because you only have been comfortable. I wouldn't say comfortable. You are only familiarized with bad things, with things that are not of love, that are not wholesome, that are not comforting. And because of this, we live in such a survival state, and we've been conditioned to believe in that survival state. Because what if I told you, if our minds and our nervous systems are always in a state of stress, having high sense of cortisol, only stress will bring about a sensation, and that sensation brings a frequency, a vibration that ripples out into the world, and it causes a collective destruction. It causes a collective lack of control and trust, and a belief is something bigger than ourselves. And a belief is something so much more wholeheartedly that's actually here for good. But no, we believe that we're just here for our own demise. And I'm only being deep on this is because this is some heavy shit. This is a hard pill to swallow, to realize that, damn, I've been the one holding myself back. I've been the reason why I've been sabotaging good things in my life. I have been the reason why my life is not the way that it is. And I'm not saying that what you've been through is your fault. Absolutely not. It's not your fault what you've been through. Please know that. You didn't deserve that. It's not fair that you went through that. But I will be honest, it will be your fault if you let it keep destroying you and formulating your self-concept. It will be your fault if you don't work on this. It will be your fault if you don't face these sensations that are so heavy. And I want to share this video with you is because the more that we could stop being victim to our pain and using that in a form of manipulation, or letting people have power over us and using that as a sense of vulnerability to take control over us, the more it becomes very, very easy for you to face that heaviness, for you to become so aware of why you're having certain triggers and why you're having certain sensations, and want to work with them, want to have compassion for them, want to be there for yourself, rather than causing self-infliction on yourself by running away, by avoiding it, by suppressing it. What I share with you today is going to make you realize that it's okay to feel it. It's okay to face it. But what's not okay is abandoning yourself. You know, we all can understand people can use our pain and our hurt. Here's actually what I want to get into. And not only people can use our pain and our hurt in a form of manipulating us and using that as a source of vulnerability, but you ever realize that there's so many kind people in this world, that a lot of people who don't give a shit about other people think that's naivety? I've had that done to me so much in my life that a lot of people thought I was naive, and they used me, and they thought I wasn't aware of the whole concept. I was, but I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't know how to set boundaries. I didn't know how to stop being a victim and how to stop getting tired of this perpetual cycle that I'm putting myself in. Because we put ourselves in situations and predicaments and meeting particular people because we're so familiarized with that toxicity, with that behavior, with those characteristics. And I know there's a lot of readers out there, there's a lot of psychics out there that always come up with, like, you know, you went this because your mother, your dad, your childhood. It's true. But now we need to stop talking about how it's happened and what are we going to do to solve it and overcome it. That's the most important gist we have to get into. And so I believe that the people who are still willing to have such a whole heart and such a loving, giving heart have been through the most trials and tribulations, because they understand that their pain doesn't define them. They can allow it to redefine them. And there's nothing more powerful and more dangerous than a person who knows how to master their emotions and use what is so heavy and dense and alchemize it into what's high and what's vibrational, in a sense that's going to serve them. So, and on top of that, sometimes, for an example, you know, I used to be this because I became what I resented. I will always overplease and overgive to the point I thought I was going to get something in return. So in that way, me being nice was me actually trying to manipulate people into liking me or loving me or seeing me or trying to understand me. And that was a false sense of control. And a lot of us can do that. Even though we have a kind heart, we keep giving, because in the back of our minds, our outcome is, I want to receive. And that, in a way, is a form of manipulation. And that, in a way, is a form of us being a victim as well. There are people who use their pain and the way that they are as a form to, is an excuse to justify their bad behavior. And there are some of us who use our pain and become a victim to that, because by overgiving and always saying, I did this for you, I did this for you, I did that for you, but you're not giving me anything in return. That is a form of victimhood and manipulation. So how to stop using your trauma as an excuse? For me, The reason why I do videos on topics like this is because I'm going through it myself. I would never ever share with you guys what I am not doing in my life. I walk what I talk, completely. And that's why I want to be real with you guys, because the more that we can all allow ourselves to stop being a victim to this world and a victim to our past, we can all recognize that it happened for a reason. I'm not saying that, you know, it's okay that it happened, but it happened for a reason. So the way to stop using your trauma as an excuse is, yes, recognize that your emotions are valid. Give yourself that permission to say what I went through and how I feel about it is valid. That's the first priority. It's not using your trauma as an excuse. The second part is, it's a huge responsibility when you start becoming aware of it. Because when you become aware of something, it is your responsibility to change it. And if you're aware of something, like majority of people in the world, they're aware of themselves, but they don't want to make the shifts because they're so comfortable with their own toxicity and victimhood. Because apparently it's so much more harder to take responsibility and to allow yourself to mature yourself. A lot of people will rather stay ignorant, immature, and avoidant. And that is a way to more self-destruction and more pain in this world. So when you become aware of something, be ready for that change. And the third way to get yourself ready for that is get yourself to a point where you're actually tired. You're actually tired of being a victim. You're actually tired of always being in control of how things should be and how people should treat you and how people should act. Start getting tired of it. Get so tired of being like this world, because this world is just nothing but pain. But you can allow yourself to get so tired of that, you become an example of what the world can be with people like you. So get so exhausted from being a victim. Get exhausted from always being in control. Get exhausted of thinking you got to be perfect. Get so tired of it to the point that you're like, dude, I really want to change. And that change, when you get so tired of something, like for me, for example, there's a lot of things I've been getting so tired of to the point that the change happens so easily. So easily. For some, it may be harder. For some, it won't be that hard. Like for me, there's so many things that I knew were holding me back to the point I was like, damn, I've been wanting to change this for so long, but now's the time I want to stop changing. Like me, I stopped smoking weed the ending of last year. Haven't wanted since. I've been wanting to stop, of course, porn, and it came so easily. And then I started to realize I had this mindset, like, if I want to manifest something so big, maybe I need to fast from certain TV shows, fast from certain music, fast from, always being on my phone, fast from food. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And it became so easy because I got tired of what was holding me back. I got so exhausted of me being the reason why I'm fearing my true self. So that's pretty much how to stop using your trauma as an excuse. Is that one, give yourself permission to feel it and understand that what you're feeling about what you went through is valid. Second, be ready to take responsibility of what you become aware of and actually change it. And the third thing is actually get tired of who you allowed yourself to be. Because we're only comfortable what we're familiarized with. And familiarized means familiar. So you're getting it from not who you really are, but from what you have, yes, grown up in your environment, but now you're old enough to make your own decisions, to think for yourself, to choose for yourself. And a lot of us are still living in that 10-year-old self, that 8-year-old self, that 13-year-old self, the infant self who went through that pain and went through that trauma and still vibrating and feeling that. The reason why you're still feeling those sensations is because you're avoiding yourself truly feeling them, seeing them, focusing on them so wholeheartedly that it's showing up because I meant to learn something. It's showing up because I meant to clear something. It's showing up because there's something trying to awaken within me to mature from it, so it no longer has control over you. And the last thing I want to share to how to stop using your trauma as an excuse: accept people and the world for the way that it is. And what I mean by this is that accept what has happened to you, because you can't change what you don't accept. Accept what has happened to you. Accept that people around you are not going to change and treat you how you want to be treated. Accept the fact that there is a part of you that is still feeling that pain and still living in the past. Accept it all, because when you can accept what has happened, it's not that you want to destroy it, because there's a lot of people that make videos on how to destroy your old self. This is not about destroying your old self. This is about having so much compassion for it that you end up being the parent, the best friend, and the lover, and the hero that you've been needing in your life. And when you can accept things, it's not that you want to change them, it's just that you no longer want to be identified with it. So you have the courage to redefine it. And examples of how to redefine things. Like for me, it's going to be a little heavy, it's going to be a little deep, so trigger warning. I had been through a lot of sexual abuse in my life and physical abuse at a very young age. And, you know, I always used to feel like I was a punching bag for people, and people will use me just to pour their anger out on me. And I used to think that me being intense, me being honest about how I'm feeling was bad. So I started to realize, I'm having shame for myself and speaking my truth. So I forgave myself for that. And I started to realize, what if my intensity, that some people find a little intimidating, what if my intensity is a beautiful thing? Because that means I have been able to meet myself to the depths of the ocean that people are not willing to swim to. And I have an intensity to understand people, to understand how to love deeply, to sit with someone and really feel their emotions with them so they're not alone, to understand and give the people the ability to feel safe in my space and know that they are seen or heard. All because I redefined what I've been through and saw it as a blessing now rather than a curse. So that's one example. And you may not have gone through something that severe, but maybe, let's go another example. When it comes to money, maybe you growing up in a broke household has made you so angry at your parents that they never taught you how to be more resourceful, how to be more wise with your money. And you keep blaming them and blaming them and blaming them. Or even when it comes to relationships, you keep blaming your parents for having fucked up relationships. What if the way that you can stop using your trauma as an excuse for why people abandon me, why people will leave me, why my money never stays, why God doesn't love me, that's why God doesn't bless me with a relationship or financial blessings. What if, instead of using that as self-reflection, you start seeing that maybe not having money right now or not having money the way that you want to is teaching you how to be wise with it. It's teaching you how to change those subconscious programs that you inherited and change them for the better and break that generational curse. What if you going through all those bad relationships was teaching you to be an example of what you needed in a parent and what you need in a lover and how to be proud of having boundaries and standards? What if everything that we go through is just teaching us who we are meant to be? Not saying that what is coming up to the surface that is painful or disappointing is telling us to stay that way, but what I'm saying is that what is coming up to the surface is telling us what we need to outgrow, what vibration is stagnant and no longer serving us, and learning how to transform our nervous system into a calm system, transform our mindset from one thought and becoming aware of that thought to shifting and choosing, hey, I see this thought, I see that thought, I know you're there, thank you for being here, but I'm gonna choose this thought. You know, feeling a certain emotion, and instead of be like, I don't want to feel this, I'm feeling it, I see you, I hear you, Thank you for showing me this. All right, we released it. We feel it. Like, we released it. And now, I feel relieved. What do I want to feel now? It's all about clearing. It's all about purging. It's all about recognizing and accepting. And then you give yourself that space that you always wanted other people to give you. You have no idea how you stop seeing your trauma as an excuse and you start to see it as a form of you being a blessing to yourself. So, beautiful beings, that's what I wanted to share with you today on how to stop using your trauma as an excuse and start seeing it as a form of you maturing your consciousness, from you ascending to where you are and to who you can allow yourself to be, to see different levels of yourself. And if you found any confirmation, any clarity, any sense of information that was informative to you, please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit that notification button. And if you need more assistance on how to do this work, I do have services that I render on my website. Just go to the link in the description box below and you'll be redirected to the services that I render. Until then, beautiful beings, I'll see you on the next one. Stay healthy, stay blessed, stay blissful, and know you are exactly where you're meant to be and you are blessed. Only love.